the whole facial action.
Look, I'm rocking the.
Oh, you got your earrings in. I almost said earbuds.
No, I don't have the right one in. I just have the left one in.
Earring. Singular.
The George Michael vibes.
George Michael? Who's that?
The singer? Oh,
Like
man. You should look it up after this. George Michael. He wore like hoop earrings and he was a singer. I'm drinking some carrot juice right now.
Carrot juice. Is it very sweet or just mild?
It's like mild. It has turmeric and ginger in it. So
Sweet.
It's like yeah, I don't know. We usually don't buy carrot juice a lot. We usually like we'll eat carrots, but you know what? We went to Aldi the other day and we don't. I wish we lived closer, but it's like only 15 minutes away. It's not even that far. It's just we're sometimes so lazy where we just want to go down the street and the grocery store is down the street. But yeah, they had carrot juice and you know it has an acquired taste to it. You know, it's a lot different than eating carrots, but it tastes fine. I mean, we just, you know, do a little glass like maybe every other day or every day. I mean, we still eat carrots, but just, sometimes it's easier to drink the vegetable instead of eat it because we eat so many fruits and vegetables.
Yeah. Man, it's freaking like, if I have juice around, I'm just like, freaking crushed juice. I'm like, I'm so bad with liquid calories, but like, you know, whatever. I'm active enough, so it doesn't like affect me. But yeah, it's so much easier.
I think this is only like 80 calories per 8 ounces. So
Okay.
I mean, I don't even think I poured 8 ounces. Maybe I did a little bit more, but yeah.
Nice. Yeah, my brother, he'll usually do like what he calls turmeric tea in the morning, which is just like boiling hot water and like a tablespoon of turmeric. It's disgusting. I don't know how he does it. But
you know what?
Inflammation.
You know what we used to do? There's probably nothing. There might be people like saying like there is like I bet like they probably promote it like as like pre-workout or if they have in their ingredient. My brother and I used to because we were big fans of like morning workouts because when I was going to school, like we were both servers at the time. I think he might started bartending, but he's like a full-time bartender not right now and like full-time server. But we were like, you know, we would work mostly nights. So like, you know, when we'd wake up like 9, 10-ish in the morning, we'd go to the gym. Usually we're like morning goers, like, you know, late breakfast, pretty much like we'd probably snack something down. But our pre-workouts, we used to dash like a bunch of cayenne pepper in our pre-workout sometimes. I remember my brother did so much. Like he was uncontrollably red and sweaty before we got to the gym. It was like he did it like over bubbly. I did like a little dash and this guy's like doing. But yeah, we it was back in the day with the we used to watch a lot of the Kai Green YouTube like vlogs he made, and instead of saying like thermogenesis, he has like a Mike Tyson accent. I guess you would explain like Kai Green's accent of like how he talks. He'd be like thermogenesis. Like he'd sound like that, and like we would just like joke around, and we would like put cayenne pepper in our pre-workout, and be like, "Thermogenesis, we're gonna be Kai Green today, yeah, buddy." And obviously, none of us are ever gonna be as jacked and swole as Kai Green, but it's the thought that counts, you know. But yeah, speaking of your brother, like making like turmeric tea, that just reminds me of like doing the cayenne pepper. But I mean. Maybe cayenne pepper does stuff to your. I mean, I put in my food to taste better. I mean, I don't.
Does make you sweat.
Yeah, I'm always down for some hot, spicy stuff, but lately, I haven't even like. It's crazy. It's like because Sam gets out of work so late. Like I don't even try to take pre-work. Honestly, I drink pre-work. If I drink pre-workout and it's not, I don't have pre-workout that I've been using the Gorilla Mine. Derek's shout out to Derek. Yeah, and I've been he doesn't have beta alanine in it, so what I typically do, like if I want pre-workout, if I'm feeling kind of tired, like at like 2 p.m. because we work out at like 5. So like 2 p.m. like I'll do like one scoop, and then like this whole water bottle, which is I think a liter of water. I literally do one scoop and I fill the whole thing of water, and I start drinking it at like 2 o'clock. So by the time like 3 o'clock hits, I'll probably finish it all. But like it's like something where like pretty much I just use the pre-workout for caffeine. It's good. I feel like I try to switch off like coffee once in a while. Sometimes I'll have like a second cup at like 2 o'clock, but I've pretty much been pretty damn good. I feel like I'm so proud of myself when it comes to like pre-workout and caffeine. I've been like I haven't had caffeine like after 4 p.m. and like I couldn't tell you how long. It's been so nice. And like I've been sleeping a lot better. Like I feel like I've been able to like honestly I'm falling asleep faster than Sam these days. It's like surprising because I'm usually like, hey, let's wake up, let's go to the room and go to sleep. But it's been pretty much like me. I've been just like recovering. Maybe it's because I'm dieting. I'm at like 203.2 now, Roman.
Yeah, buddy, that's a new low, right?
Yeah, that's the new low. I've been hovering around. I was like 2.3.6 or 203.6. I don't know why I said 2.203.6 for like 2 weeks, a week and a half ish, and then I dropped like zero point 0.4 pounds. So right now it's like I'm not really trying to push the limits because I'm trying to get to like a little bit under 200 by March.
Yeah.
But it's just like I'm just trying to maintain slash like if I want to cut like food throughout a day, then I will. But I'm still trying to eat as much as possible. Like it's trying to eat as many calories without gaining weight. So
Nice, but heck yeah.
how about you, buddy? How are you feeling?
Doing good. Doing really good. I was kind of like, there's definitely times today where I was very like draggy, like kind of like low productivity. My sleep has been like okay recently, but I think just because I've like been doing so much traveling recently,
Yeah.
like October and then like the end of November.
And then now, what, next week or 2 weeks from now?
Yeah. And I'm gonna be going back too. So yeah, in the course of like 3 months, I've like been to Massachusetts 3 times. Went to Arizona, drove down. Arizona. That was fun. Drove down to Nashville. So I think I'm just like maybe some of that is kind of like catching up to me.
Yeah.
Because like, your sleep around will be kind of weird, and then
Your
it's like
food.
Yeah, food was
training.
Training is definitely weird. So like getting like 6.5, 7 hours of sleep, which is kind of low for me, but still like it's okay. But I prefer to get like 8 to 9 is probably like optimal for me, to be honest with you. But I was in bed by 8 and I got up at 4, but I've been getting up at like 3 recently.
You're crazy, man.
I know.
You'd be like a pretty damn good father. You'd probably be like a good father because the fact that you could wake up before like kids wake up, and you'd be done like lifting and like on your second meal by the time. Like I know obviously let's not talk about like the kid situation and stuff, but like you'd be like, dude, you'd be like killing it because you'd go to the bed at the same time as them, and then you'd wake up earlier than them.
Yeah, true. It would be really hard for me too though, because like especially having like a baby, because if I have poor sleep, like like my productivity, it doesn't take just like a steady drop. It takes a sharp decline. Like it's pretty bad.
Can you put that on a graph for us and kind of show us the statistics around it? Just speaking of Derek for more, I actually just finished the podcast yesterday.
What'd you think?
It was good. The ending was kind of like, eh. The ending is just like it was them kind of BSing. But that's like every JRE episode. I feel like it's like if Roman and I were on for 3 hours, like by the time 2 hours came around, I'm pretty sure Roman and I would be talking about like anything at that point. But I'm listening to actually the Theo Von one right now, the comedian.
Yeah.
It's pretty awesome. Like they do Joe actually does like smelling salts for the first time on that episode, and so does Theo. He goes, I kind of like that.
Oh, I did start that one. does he use I think does he use Derek's smelling salts?
No, he uses that power lifter.
Okay.
I can't think of his name. His name's like Rob something.
Okay.
I know it's throwing it short by just saying Rob, but it's like Rob something. It was before Derek. Like Castillo was before Derek, so.
Yeah. It was like maybe a month or two ago, right?
Yeah, something like that. I go back and forth with Jerry. I only listen to the ones I want to listen to. I'm not a big fan where I listen to all of them. I'm not that big of a fan.
I've listened to like a lot, but I just like I go through periods where I'm like, okay, I want to switch to something different.
Yeah. That's when I'll switch to either Stronger by Science or Huberman, or Crime Junkies.
Nice.
I haven't really listened to like I don't even know if is Omar Esoff and Eric Helms even still doing their podcast, Iron Culture.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't listened to an Iron Culture podcast in probably like 2 years. It's been like two. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I do want to listen to Derek's because I know he started trying to do like a little like podcast series, right?
Yeah.
But it's like YouTube though, right? It's not like anything else.
It is. I think he only posts on YouTube, maybe other sites, but that's like the only places I've seen it. You like kind of have to wait because what he does is he like releases them in mini clips because he's like about like posting twice a day. So he'll release them in like 10 to 15 to 20 minute clips, and then after like a week or so he'll release like the whole 2 or 3 hour video.
Yeah, I'll probably tune into that. We'll see. What else did I wanted to talk about? I'm just so I don't know if you guys heard, but I was reading the Rebuilding Milo book. I'm almost done. I have like 80 more pages. Honestly, it's crazy. It's like the only books I want to read are about like lifting. It's so crazy. It's like I could spend all day. My advice. So I know you don't have it, Roman, but if you have Supple Leopard or Supple Leopard 2.0, I have the original Supple Leopard by Kelly Starrett. I'd say if you're gonna buy Rebuilding Milo, if you don't have those two already, it's pretty similar, not too similar where it's like the same thing, but what I realized is you can get a lot out of all of it if you just have one book, if that makes sense. Because I have Supple Leopard. I rented Rebuilding Milo from the library, which is actually due this weekend, so I might have to return it or renew it again, which I think I could do both. But what I would suggest if you're listening, obviously, a lot of people might not, if you're newer to the Gainz podcast, newer to the lifting community, you might know Squat University more than Kelly Starrett, which I think that's a good, like, because like when Roman and I probably started watching stuff and learning about stuff, I think Kelly Starrett was probably our first person we probably like listened to and watched a lot. And then Squat University came around, even though Squat University's been around for a while. I feel like I just started learning about them, but that's like my 2 cents. I'm going to read Deathbound after this, which is by Kelly Starrett. Pretty much, it's about a book about like how the Roman and I talk about the new era of like working is you're sitting on your desk all day, you're sitting on your butts and making people weaker, making your glutes weaker, and more such as. Once I start reading it, I'll tell you more. But
Kelly Starrett was recommended to me probably in like 2015, 2016. So I think that's when
honestly, like, I think you could say 2012. I mean, I feel like I've heard of him since like at 2012.
Oh, wow. That's way sooner than me. Like, like maybe I saw some of his stuff then, but I remember specifically, like I worked out at Falmouth Sports Center in Falmouth, Massachusetts, and like my hometown, and I was coming into work one day, and one of the guys that worked there, he was like, "Hey, I'm thinking of moving," and I know that Brian, he was like the manager at the time. He was like, "I know he's gonna want to bring somebody on." He was like, "Do you think that you'd want to like work here? I know you've expressed interest in like being a personal trainer in the past." I was like, "Yeah, like I've got a good full-time job and all that stuff, but I'm always looking to take on more work. So I was like, why not? So we would like chat from time to time. And I remember he like wrote down, like, he was like, these are people that I recommend you like check out. One of the people was like Lane Norton. So that's how I learned about Lane Norton. So, and I think that was like 2015, 2016. So like, that's where I learned about Lane Norton, Kelly Starrett, and then I can't remember who else he like recommended, but a couple of other like really good resources. But yeah, I think I first learned about Squat University in like 2017. I was in Chicago. I think I was just like browsing Instagram on CTA, and I came across them. I was like, oh, this is really cool. Like, I love all the activation drills and stuff like that. So yeah, and I can totally see like how they overlap a lot, because both of them, they're definitely into like optimization of like movement, but they're also like really into like troubleshooting, like, and rehabilitation, like in physical therapy, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not. Yeah, and also too, like, I'm not saying one's better than the other. I'm just saying, like, if if you're really cautious about spending money, or if you spend, because they're not cheap books. They're like almost $50. I don't even know how much Supple Leopard was, but it was like probably $50 or $60. But I was just making that suggestion, like, maybe because both of them in my eyes are like textbooks. They're not like books. Obviously they're not trying to tell a story. But they're teaching you about like anatomy. They're teaching you about injuries, how to test for them, and how, like Roman was saying, rehabilitation. Like how to rehab something. Like it's just different. I think it's just different storylines, pretty much. But it's pretty cool. Like, obviously these books are gonna. I think it's like a book. It's like something where you would keep coming back to, because like if you're a seasoned lifter, there's always gonna be something bothering you. Roman and I probably talk about it, but besides the podcast, but there's a lot of times where you need to start over. There's a lot of times where you need to keep checking. There's sometimes where you might need to, tweak something. You might need to add something. And what I've been realizing is, like, the mobility, the flexibility, like that's why we did that flexibility podcast, because like personally, like I know for me, like it's been like something that I've been neglecting for like 8 or 9 years. It's like something I never added in, but now like I'm seeing the benefit of it. Like even just doing like the core exercises, or like Roman was helping me to do like the hip circle, and I was doing like the walkouts with the hip circle to try to activate my glutes before like me squatting or deadlifting. So I'm, utilizing that. It's just like the little things that you just keep learning when you're pursuing like a fitness like goal or goals. So
yeah, definitely. And then like I think honestly sometimes people just need to totally like change things up. Like unless you're like a power lifter, and like even still like you might like need to do that. Like Russ Orhe comes to mind. He
is that Russ Wool?
Yeah, Russ Wool.
I just started following him today, dude. I honestly, I don't know why I haven't followed him, but dude, he got is fucking strong.
He's insane. I like was going to follow him on Instagram the other day, but I wasn't sure because he doesn't have the blue check mark. So like, and he has like over 60K like followers. So I was like, this, I'm guessing is his account, but I like have like a mental note just kind of like flip through.
They just Squat University just did a collab post with them.
That's why I think he's like top of mind for me. But I remember listening to a podcast that he was on. It might have been Iron Culture, like maybe a year ago or so. And he said, like, honestly, he was like, if my coach didn't program in bodybuilding, he was like, I don't think I could do powerlifting like any longer. He was like, I love bodybuilding so much. So he like has to have like a mixture of the two to keep things fresh for him. So like the reason I bring it up, and like for our topic today, we're gonna talk to you about like burnout in the gym, like how to avoid it, what to do if like you're experiencing it, because I think that many of us can. But my partner, she's like been kind of like having like those kind of feelings and thoughts in the gym, and like I was just like, well, what do you think about like HIIT? And she's like, actually, that might be interesting. And she just like sat down the other morning and she like wrote out a program and she like tested out this morning. I was like, oh, that looks like really like challenging and whatnot. She's like, yeah, it was actually a lot of fun. So, for her, like, she doesn't appear to have aspirations to be a bodybuilder any day, anytime. Like,
or powerlifter.
She doesn't want to get into powerlifting. She likes doing some of those things.
Yeah.
But it's more just to like stay healthy, like stay strong, like, you know, all these different things. She has different goals. But for her, like mixing things up helped to like kind of like create a new challenge, reinvigorate her, like give her like a new goal, something new to like go after and progress. So that like for her, at least, you know, today was like literally day one of like her new program. But yeah, I think it's important to mix things up and have like variety. And like you can obviously have too much variety, like for sure. But I think for some people they can just kind of run the same program and continually progress and like do great. And that's all like fine and well, that's amazing. But I think some people, they, you know, after like 3 months, 6 months, they might be like, man, these moves are so stale, I'm not progressing. Like, I don't even know why I'm doing this anymore. It's like, well, is your goal still like aesthetic, you know, bodybuilding? Yeah, like, you know, I still want to like build bigger shoulders, or I want to get stronger at like bench press or whatever. And it's like, okay, well, you don't have to just do, you know, barbell bench press. Like maybe you change the dumbbell, maybe you change to like incline, for example, or like maybe you take some time off of it and you work on like overhead press and work on like, you know, the stability of like your scapula. It might not directly like fall through like right away, but like over time, like it absolutely will if you're still focused on like hypertrophy and like neural drive, all this stuff.
Yeah, that's funny you say that, how Laura, like, you know, switched over to HIIT. Like, I remember when COVID first started, and you know, we had to, you know, predominantly we would do powerlifting and bodybuilding, and then you know, for like the COVID hit, like we had you know, the basement gym, we had, you know, a barbell that we could go up to like 185 maybe, and then like some dumbbells and, you know, some machines. And that was like Sam's like first like move was like, I think maybe like even when she talked about it when she was she guest starred on the podcast, but like that was like the first thing she did, because like, see, the thing is with like when we didn't have a lot of weight, a lot of machines, or a lot of like just racks to like do things in, you know, it just transferred over to that. And then like, you know, she was making up her own things. I mean, even to this day, I think on the iPad, for our iPad, like even in the notes section, she probably has like, I wonder if maybe I should send those to you, Roman, see if Laura would actually like them, because like Sam wrote out probably like, I want to say like 4 to 6 like different days. So maybe she could check it out, where I think it's mostly like full body, you know, maybe more like upper, more lower, some of them, but some of them are full body. So that's always like, you know, I mean, that's probably, if you're probably listening to this, that's like probably something that you might have had to do, because like, you know, maybe you didn't have access to like home equipment and you wanted to stay strong. Maybe you wanted to just do push-ups, you wanted to do pull-ups at the park, you wanted to run, you wanted to still be in good shape. Even for me right now, like right now, like before, like I wanted to get big. I wanted to do a lot of powerlifting. Roman and I were supposed to do a powerlifting meet this year, and then like my shoulder got messed up, and then we obviously, Sam and I moved to Arizona, so it was hard. It's hard for like Roman and I to do a powerlifting meet, and then like Roman didn't want to do powerlifting that much, and he wanted to focus on like hypertrophy, and then like my shoulder finally got like better, and then now my glute feels kind of messed up, so. Like it's like, you know, like for me, like right now, like I go back to like the original, like bodybuilding, you know, that's like the original, like, motivator for me was like, look good, feel good, and be able to get a good pump. So like right now, like I'm adjusting, you know, obviously, like I'm not like stopping like squatting and deadlifting, but I'm trying to figure out what's like breaking down where I'm getting hurt. And that's why I'm glad I'm like reading Rebuilding Milo, because it's helped me adjust things, it's helped me like test things and seeing like what I need to work on to make me a better like power lifter. So that's like right now, and like time will tell. Like Roman and I are not going to stop lifting, but like, you know, maybe Roman and I like go back to that powerlifting idea. Maybe we don't. So it's like, you know, like even for us, like we had a goal of a powerlifting meet together. Like obviously we would love to do it together and, you know, be on the stage together and like do something like that as like a team. But sometimes like things change. So like even use both of us as an example. I think that's a great. I just thought about that right now. Like Roman and I like just had that powerlifting goal and we just didn't pursue it. And then we motivated ourselves and we're still training to this day. So.
Yeah, exactly. So like our goals have changed a little bit, but we still find it like useful. And man, I hope there like doesn't come a day where I'm like I can't like do the gym anymore, because
Yeah.
it's like that's part of like it's become like part of like I guess my identity and like what I like to do. Like it's one of like my like favorite hobbies to pursue.
Yeah, and if it doesn't come to like lifting, like you can always put in perspective with like other like fitness goals. Like say if you're a runner, and for some reason like you're getting shin splints here and there, like for some reason, like my one brother, he likes to run but he got plantar fasciitis. Like what if you change your modality of training where like maybe see the thing is like I don't know talk about it too much, but like like maybe do something else, like maybe go for a bike ride. I don't even know if that would hurt. Actually that might hurt your foot. But like maybe biking, maybe could be a modality of like something where, or like a stationary bike. But other than injury, but like, if you're like a runner, you can switch to biking, you could switch to swimming, you could, you don't have to stay stale within something because, you want to run your marathon faster, you want to lift heavier always. You can change it up. Like, that's like the whole point of like not burning out, because like our focus is for the listeners and the people who watch this is to stay healthy, right? I mean, we're here to like we're here to have fun. Like if I go to the gym, like if I go to the gym and like I'm not squatting to the T, like okay, maybe I'll do like leg extensions or like leg press or like hip thrust, and like I crush that, and like that's what makes me smile at the end of the day, because I know I'm not gonna have like consecutive like PRs where I know like I switch it up. And like even when you guys saw me do a trap bar deadlift, like I haven't done a trap bar deadlift probably since high school. And it felt good. It felt good, and I was able to do like 365. And I mean, it might not be a big or small number to you, but like it felt awesome to me.
Yeah, heck yeah. Yeah, and on like the plantar fasciitis note, because like that's such a common thing for runners, like maybe it is something where you have to like re-examine like your current running program. Maybe like you're doing too much. So like yeah, maybe it is like a burnout type thing where like because it can become frustrating. Like I want to progress, but like this is just like stale. It's not like working anymore. I'm like getting injured with what I'm doing. Like maybe you have to run like pun intended, I guess, a lower volume period. And also maybe like you need to look into like hypertrophy and like start to think about like, is there like a movement fault that I have? Do I not have like the sufficient like structures in like my foot? So maybe you have to do like pointing drills where you bring your foot through like plantar flexion and dorsiflexion, for example. Maybe you need to do like look up knees over toes guy and see him doing like tib raises, like where you like, bring your feet up like this. Maybe it's like more of like the back calf as opposed to like the soleus and like the tibialis anterior. So maybe you have to work on like developing your gastroc, so maybe it's doing like calf raises, for example. Maybe you need to incorporate some squats so that you can like stabilize at the knee, for example, so that like the calcaneus, which is like a bone in the foot, which will usually the muscles that attach to the calcaneus, or just like not having proper movement mechanics, that'll usually be like the first like bone in the foot, which will like collapse, which will allow like a collapsed foot, and then that can put like added pressure on the plantar fascia, which is the muscle that essentially like does this for the foot. So yeah, there's like so many different things. So the benefit of kind of mixing things up, adding some variety, or troubleshooting a little bit, which, you know, both like Rebuilding Milo or like looking into Kelly Stratton. And, you know, you don't have to read the book. You can also watch YouTube videos, like depending on your learning style. Those can help you troubleshoot. And if that's something that like you really love to do, that might help to like fix or like ease some of that burnout that you might have if it's like injury related, for example.
Yes, sir. But yeah. I love this episode, guys. If you need any suggestions, let us know. Like if you're looking to switch things up, if you need something where you want to program something, if you want our help, or if you want any like ideas or suggestions what you could do next to kind of, like motivate you again, let us know, message us, get in contact with us, DM us, comment on our YouTube. But you can find us on all audio and video platforms. And then, yeah, like, comment, subscribe, and then we'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.